Welcome back to the Power Six Podcast. Here's your host, Isaiah Rose.
All right, everyone. Power Six Podcast is still alive. We didn't forget about you guys. Life kind of caught up to us. We weren't able to get the episode out on the typical off-season schedule every other Tuesday or every month, first Tuesday. But yeah, we're back. We got a lot to go over this week. Max has got a full-filled agenda for us. We don't even have an off discussion topic this week, so I'm just going to hand things over to Max and get this thing rolling.
That is exactly right. No wild card topic this week because a lot has happened in the college football world this spring. And we'll get right into things with a lot of talk that has to do with Nebraska and Colorado, because there's been a lot of storylines around those two programs recently. First, I don't know if you guys caught any of the spring game. I didn't catch it, but I tried to catch some highlights, and nothing stood out to me too much except for that Jeff Sims, I thought, actually looked pretty good and athletic, and now we know that he is officially the guy. So
the guy, he is him.
Are we jumping right into the transfer news, or are we still talking?
Well, spring? We could. I mean, it happened shortly after that spring game. Casey Thompson transferring, and again, like I said, that just I kind of figured Jeff Sims was the front runner for the starting job, but that obviously, sort of nail in the coffin with that one.
Yeah, I guess I was kind of shocked to see an announcement, not necessarily an announcement, but see Casey transfer so soon, just because, he had off-season surgery. He wasn't necessarily practicing. He didn't play in the spring game. But obviously whatever Jeff Sims did in the spring game was enough for Matt Rule to, say, you're a guy, we're going to roll with you. And I wish Casey the best. I was kind of shocked to see him transfer to FAU, but it sounds like he's linking up with former head coach.
Yeah.
Steve Sarkisian. So that's
Tom
Herman. Tom Herman. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. So good on him. I wish him the best of luck.
I was surprised at first, but thinking about it, makes sense that Casey wanted to hear the coach say that the job is guaranteed wherever he went. And so, that dude goes to FAU, and I'm sure he has the starting job locked up for sure. But I don't think that'd be the case here, competing with Jeff Sims.
Oh, yeah, I agree. He's going to bigger and brighter places down there in Florida for sure.
Bigger? FAU, bigger program than Nebraska. Hey, you heard it here first.
Bigger and brighter places, baby.
I mean, I wouldn't say that.
Never float your boat, man.
I would say that.
I mean, he already did Texas, then he did Nebraska. Now he wants to win,
Yeah.
Wants to win in the Sun Belt.
Sun Belt.
Trues. The Fun Belt.
I will say I am at first I was shocked that he went into the transfer portal, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized how kind of idiotic it was to think we were going to have two guys who could be Power 5 starters on our team. Like that just doesn't happen anymore. Everyone who's good enough wants to go somewhere where they can start. I mean, there's like the only programs that have that caliber of quarterback rooms are like Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, wherever Lincoln Riley's coaching. I mean, that's really it. So it was too good to be true to kind of expect something like that. So.
Well, now Petrus and McNamara are both on the same team, so.
So, like I said, what I said still holds true. One Power 5 starter and another bad quarterback.
Bad take.
Is that all we got for Casey? Because that's pretty much all I got. I think he's going to do good at FAU, though. Do you guys think that the curse is now over because Frank Solich appeared once again in Memorial Stadium? Because I am a believer in that.
No.
I never knew curse, so
Come on.
Tom Osborne's got to kick the bucket.
Results.
Tom Osborne sold his soul to the devil. He's got to kick the bucket.
I think part of the curse got broken. Maybe one of the curses got broken.
Maybe that's like the turnover battle curse, because we haven't won the season turnover battle in like 17 years. So maybe that one will.
Maybe we're going back.
Is that real? Is that actually real, Max?
Yeah, we have
Oh.
by far the worst turnover margin in college football since 2004. Like it's not even
Huh. We
close.
should get more turnovers.
I've seen enough turnovers, man. I don't need to see any more.
Let me see if I can look it up. I knew that I don't know. I read somewhere a long time ago about our turnover woes. Oh yeah, here we go. This is a good one. Since 2004, Nebraska is this is published a couple years ago even but since 2004, Nebraska is minus 94 in turnover margin. The next worst Power 5 program is Washington State at minus 62.
Oh, wow.
We are an
almost-
entire third worse
Hey.
than the next worst program.
We win natty championships in the turnovers.
Yes,
So third.
that is factual.
You said that since 2004?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Which was so by now we're like minus 100 easily.
Probably like 120.
Yeah. Fuck.
Afterwards, baby.
Also, really quick note too, before we get into more actual football things, the couple other nuances that have changed with Memorial Stadium and the Huskers. The tunnel walk will be from the northeast now this season. I think that's going to be. I don't know what that's going to be actually. There's something to note.
I think
And
it's
the other
gonna be
thing.
interesting.
Sorry, go ahead, Devin.
I just think it's gonna be interesting because has it ever changed?
Yeah, it used to be.
It was the Northeast, wasn't it? In like 2001 is when they switched.
I'm not gonna fucking remember that.
No. It's switching to northeast now.
Yeah, but didn't it used to be Northeast and then they built the Hawk Center and they came from the Northwest?
No, it used to be southeast.
Oh, okay.
No,
So it's
that's
gone
probably
from-
why it was a curse because they switched tunnels.
Now we're
Yeah.
good.
Switching
Now we're
is
good.
going to be lifted now.
Yeah, no more curses.
Yeah.
But it's been that way for a while, so it's gonna be different when you were first walking the stadium and see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of odd. The other thing that I thought was interesting is they're switching all of their current outdoor practice fields to natural grass. I was hoping that would lead towards them changing the stadium turf to natural grass, but I do not think that is going to happen.
I doubt that'll happen.
I kind of understand it to minimize injuries during practice, but I don't know why not change both of them if you're gonna change all of practice fields.
It doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me because, most of the teams are playing. We're still gonna be playing on turf, but it could be different for the players going from practicing on grass to going to play on turf, just like traction.
I think you should practice on what you play on.
I agree.
The time and didn't they just redo all the turf at Memorial Stadium too this year?
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily agree with it. The NFL Players Association has been trying to get grass fields mandated for such a long time and first caused a lot of injuries. So
Yeah, I'm interested to see if we have more in-game injuries now because the guys are going to be more used to practicing on grass.
Mm-hmm.
More like different types of cuts, like reacting to the grass, and playing on turf. I don't know,
and
that's,
you just say
that's a what if scenario, but
They
outdoor practice facilities are going to grass, so they're indoor still turf.
the indoor still turf, and then the brand new outdoor field that's going to be opening like later this summer with that whole big new facility. That one's going to be turf, but as of right now, they're
See,
They
that's
switch.
That's just so bizarre to me. Like, why
Well,
would this one type of
what they usually do too is before they go play an away game at a grass stadium, they'll practice that entire week on grass, which brings us to our first trivia question of the night.
Ooh,
There's 4 teams in the Big Ten that play on natural grass. Can you name the 4?
Northwestern.
Penn State, Michigan.
No, Michigan's not one. You're out.
Northwestern.
Penn State,
Northwestern is one.
Fuck.
Penn State, Northwestern,
yep.
Rutgers.
Illinois.
No, Illinois has turf. Rutgers has turf, don't they?
State,
What's that?
Michigan State.
Yep, Michigan State. One more.
Deanna.
No. Or don't.
Yep.
Hmm.
Brad, you flew through
Well
that.
done,
Very
Brad.
nice work.
Well
Brad
done.
killed that.
Brad, you love grass, dude.
I love grass. I love grass.
Brad
Baseball-
actually eats grass, if you guys didn't know that.
Yeah, actually.
Northwestern doesn't even mow their field though, so it's shitty grass.
True, their grass is normally like fucking 6 inches.
It's like the rough at Tiburon.
Don't get me started.
Maybe a little longer than that. Could not find a golf ball in their field, I'll tell you that.
No, that was impossible. Is it time to move on to the tiny baby buffs?
Let's go to the tiny baby buffs, man.
Yes.
Do it.
Let's go to the tiny baby buffs.
I love that.
The Colorado football program right now. Man, I don't even know where to start with this program because there's a lot to talk about. But we'll just start off with on Twitter, their practice videos, and everyone, mostly Husker fans, coming at them for how tiny their players look. It looks like a high school team.
It's so small. They actually look tiny. It's not even an exaggeration.
I think it's all their early enrollee freshmen that are smaller because they haven't hit the strength program or the eating program that they're going to put them on. I think it's all just going to be a farce to kind of throw people off.
Yeah, from those videos, the spring game, how many of them are still on the team? Like, didn't they just have massive turnover from that
There was
They-
51 players.
Yeah, they've had 51 transfers now.
since the spring game?
Yes.
Well, no, not since.
I
Just-
think like most of them have been since the spring game.
Yeah.
Like maybe 35 to 40.
Wow. Dion, man.
They cut players too. From what I
Mhm.
heard.
They didn't cut anyone, but They-
I heard of something that like a lineman, he was like a 3-year starter his senior year. He went to a meeting and the lineman coach met him in the elevator and said, yeah, just to let you know, you're getting cut. I wanted you to hear it from me. Went into whatever his name, Dion's office. And he's like, yeah, we got to cut you because we don't have any room for you. So I don't know.
any
if they-
room, they have plenty of room. They're not going to fill those scholarships.
I don't know. That's what I heard.
That's
Damn,
crazy.
in the elevator too. Didn't even sit him down in the office or nothing.
Well, the lineman coach wanted to tell him before he went into Dion's office.
How courteous.
Where'd you hear that?
You know what they say about
I heard it from a
rumors?
coworker.
I also heard that on, I think, the Nick Bob podcast. Same report.
Yeah.
But if this whole thing that Dion's doing, where he just is like cutthroat and just completely turning over the rosters, if it works, then I think a lot of other teams are going to start using the transfer portal the same way. They are just basically a professional team. They're scrapping the lineup, getting anybody they can for the transfer portal.
It's becoming the free agency of NIL.
Yeah, well, I think
Who can get the highest bidder?
Nick Ball's podcast talked about this a little bit, and I kind of agree with it that these kids are using the transfer portal to their advantage. Why can't coaches? Why can't coaches make those roster changes? I mean, there's a lot of roster changes going on in Colorado. Don't get me wrong, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the reality that we're starting to see now is that it is going to get exploited. Off topic, with that Michigan basketball player that left and went to Kansas, and he blatantly said that Kansas offered him way more money and that he wasn't making 6 figures at Michigan.
True.
Yeah, I kind of think it's going to take away from the authenticity of college sports, how players are there. You know, you go play your 4 years and then go play in like the NFL, NBA or something. I think the fans aren't going to start to like it because, you know, you're used to that. You get to see the same quarterback play all 4 years, but now you could have a different quarterback every 4 years.
That's
I'm
just
gonna
how it's
argue-
gonna be nowadays,
I'm gonna
though.
argue against that, Isaiah. Usually you'll see players leave after their second year as soon as they can, if they're good enough, because they can go make lots of money. Well, now they can start making money as soon as they're a freshman in college. So what's stopping them from staying, 5 years
I know, but
And-
that's what I mean by the authenticity of it. The sports have been forever in college.
Right, but you just said that they already were staying 4 years when players have been leaving to go to the draft and skipping.
Well, yeah,
both.
if you have guys that can go play in the draft, that's different. But if you have guys that are just going to play somewhere else in college for more to make more money, that's what I mean by it's taking away some of that authenticity.
I think it's just taken away from the history of the programs. Like Nebraska being has a very enriched history, and people want to play for Nebraska because of the history of the program and what it stands for. Same thing with Alabama or Ohio State or Michigan. And now it's not necessarily about that. It's
Yeah, we have the same argument in that aspect. It's taking away from the history that players want to play for a team because of the history, not just going somewhere for more money.
okay.
Good discussion, fellas.
Back to Dion. I don't think what he's doing is going to work this year because they're still well below 85 scholarship players. And I don't know how they're getting. I mean, they did this so late in the year. There's not that many guys in particular. There's not that many top talent guys who are in the portal, anymore. I mean, so I don't know. They could be in a really dire situation.
I think it's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to work really well for them or they're going to go 0-12.
Yeah, I think it's not going to work
I don't think so either.
well at all. At
Yeah.
least I hope.
If he wanted to do this, he should have done it before the spring game, in my opinion.
We'll find out week 2.
I mean, I think that's what the spring game is for, is to figure out like who's who and who's actually going to pull their own weight on the team. I mean,
Yeah, but it's not for like you're not supposed to be trying to get guys to leave and then trying to get new guys after the spring game. I mean,
no, I'm saying you have a lot of extra players when you're going into the spring game that you have to kind of trim down that roster.
Oh, he trimmed it down. He whacked the bush when he did that.
Yeah, and I think that goes to the same thing for some of the players too. Like that receiver that went out and had an absolute monster of a spring game and then entered the portal the very next day.
yeah, he scored like a couple touchdowns in their spring game, and then
He used. 'Cause I think the Buffs game was on not like almost national television, wasn't it?
it was on ESPN. Yeah,
Yeah. So he basically used that as a showcase, a live highlight film, if you want to say. And I haven't heard where he's gone yet, if he's committed anywhere.
no, yeah, I haven't heard either. I would be really curious to see if like Dion was behind that or not, or because I mean, there's been other guys who have left too. There was a Florida offensive lineman who transferred to Colorado this offseason to play for Dion, and now he wants to re-enter the transfer portal and leave, which is, I don't know. Maybe that speaks a lot to the culture, the lack thereof on Dion's part, because.
As a first-year head coach, you gotta take, as much as you can.
Yeah.
You can't clear house and then expect to be good within the next 3 years, which I don't know how short Colorado's leash is, being that they went 0-12 or 1-11 last year. I mean, practically should have went 0-12. They're just a poverty program last year, so.
I think they're all in on Dion. They can't afford to fire him for years to come. So he's gonna have to find a way to make it work somehow.
Yeah, they paid a lot of money for him, so I think they'll have at least 3 to 4 years. I don't think Colorado gave themselves an option on that front. But the hype is real there. I do have my notes that Colorado season tickets sold out for the first time in 27 years. So that's pretty amazing.
All that stuff.
Dion has been also using a bunch of different recruiting tactics, not very similar to how anyone else has ever done it. He's recruiting on Twitter a lot, it seems, which is yeah.
That's just weird. He's saying like he needs dogs to come to. We need a couple DB dogs to come to Colorado. That's just weird.
Yeah, like go recruit the guys.
That makes
It's weird, but I think if you have a name like Deion Sanders and the history that you have brought to the sport of football, you don't got to do much more than that.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
it's
what's the upside to it right now? He's lost how many guys and who has he gotten?
I mean, Travis Hunter went to Colorado. They got the
Already with him.
second best corner to
It's already
commit.
with him.
He wasn't already at Jackson State.
Travis Hunter was at Jackson State.
He's at
Travis
Jackson-
Hunter, not the
Yeah.
other one. He got like the two top corners.
Yeah, the other one, yeah, but I mean, there's going to be guys that want to play for Deion just because he's Deion. That's very true. But I think what we're seeing so far this year is that there's a lot of guys who want to go play for the proven winners and proven coaches that will actually go out and recruit them.
And that's also very true. I think what Deion's doing is just new, but Deion's always talked like that. He's always acted like that. And I think he's trying to use the national spotlight now to recruit a different way.
Yeah.
But backtracking to Montana Lamonius Craig, he hasn't committed anywhere, but two Big Ten schools have offered him.
Michigan State.
Nope. This is trivia, actually. Here we go.
What was it?
This is my trivia question for you guys. Two Big Ten schools have offered the Colorado transfer wide receiver.
Damn, I'm surprised it's not Michigan State, to be honest.
Yeah, they could
Yeah.
use that.
There was actually not,
Is it
aside from these two teams. there's
Michigan,
not-
one of them?
No,
Illinois.
So, Wisconsin,
no,
Illinois.
Rutgers,
no,
Maryland.
no.
No way, like Ohio State.
No, they didn't. Ohio State's wide receiver room is stacked already.
Minnesota?
No,
I'm gonna be.
Every team.
Yeah, we've gone
Was it
through like
Iowa? And I just don't even know.
Nebraska.
no. Purdue and Penn State.
Huh? Oh, cool.
that's stupid.
I think Penn State's the
Wide
big.
receiver?
Those are just offers, though, also.
And what do we know from this? Those are two natural grass teams. I don't know what that has to do with it, but now we know.
Colorado plays on grass, don't they?
I think so. Yeah. I
Yup.
think so.
I love grass fields.
Grass
Yeah,
fields.
that's-
Whatever that guy's name is, Montana Lavius Craig Jr., Senior. He
That's
loves
it.
grass.
Well, big grass guy.
Ohio State. Grass.
Here's the next trivia question I had. So Deion has also been using very fancy, pretty videos of the Colorado scenery and the mountains to try to recruit people, which fair enough, looks a lot better than, Iowa City, that's for sure. But Colorado in Boulder is actually the third highest in elevation stadium in college football. Obviously, we know the Broncos got the highest in the NFL, but Colorado's the third highest. Who are the two teams with a higher elevation stadium than Colorado?
State.
No,
Oregon?
no.
Appalachian.
Well, I didn't hear this.
Appalachian.
West Virginia.
No.
Really, they're the Mountaineers.
Well, yeah, but they're not in there.
They're just small Mountaineers.
It was something like Appalachian State.
Bradley
already
already
said
said
that.
that.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
This guy's not paying attention.
Ohio State.
No, that's a good guess though. They're up there.
Who did you say, Brad?
Utah State.
Oh,
Utah.
No.
we even close.
Get a hint. Give us a hint.
Boise State.
No. It's two group of 5 teams.
Uh,
One I feel like it's gonna be obvious once I tell you or once you
Cincinnati?
get it. What is that?
You just say
Yeah, they're-
Cincinnati?
That's higher
yeah.
than Colorado.
Hey, I don't know, man.
Cincinnati,
all,
Ohio.
I don't
folks.
need- I don't
Ohio
know
State,
geography.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Isn't Cincinnati a Power 5
There's a
school?
mountain range in Ohio. I didn't know this.
Hey, I don't know geography. All right.
Yeah.
What's that behind you?
They might have just built the stadium really high. And it doesn't have to be a
Map
mountain.
Yeah, go look at where Cincinnati is.
behind him and he
Yeah, there's It looks like there might be some
Can we get
battles.
like a eastern or western half of the
Wyoming,
United
Wyoming.
States?
Yes, Wyoming is the very highest
Let's go.
elevation.
Wyoming State.
Guess what?
Huh?
It's grass too.
Wyoming State. Do they even have a Wyoming?
There's not a Wyoming state. No.
This guy's just making teams up now. Sounding like me.
Wyoming
I
Tech?
don't know where Wyoming was.
No, it's
Gotta be-
power. It's FBS group of 5.
It's gonna be over.
Is it Wyoming A&M?
Oh God.
It's gonna be Western, isn't it?
Wyoming Tech.
Not Colorado State.
It's actually quite surprising how much higher Wyoming is too than
New Mexico State.
no, another great guess though.
New
They're
Mexico.
up.
UNLV.
Ada.
No,
Those are
no.
said.
All right, I think you should just tell us the other one.
Give
Do
us
you want one?
Give us the state.
It's
Give us
in
Or
the
is that
same.
the answer?
It's in the same state as Colorado.
That's what I was guessing, but I'm just trying to think.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Ah, yeah.
Springs, dude. Get
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Literally trained there on purpose because of the
Damn.
elevation.
Brad knows all the trivia, man.
I am on one right now.
Yeah, Brad is
giving
Brad's
it to
on
me.
it.
Northern
The,
10 guesses later, though.
Hey,
Brad.
So
Connor, how many guesses do you get right now?
I got 0.
Yeah.
I got that. question right
Colorado's,
there.
I'm gonna
Colorado's-
go.
I would say Colorado's Folsom Field is at 5,360 feet, which so just about exactly mile high. Hence why
Yeah. and that's-
Denver and that is called the mile high. Air Force is at 6,620,
Oh,
1,300 feet higher. And then the highest stadium, I think, in like the United States is Wyoming at 7,215 feet. So
Jeez.
There is a
God
stadium.
damn. No wonder Josh Allen's so good.
Josh Allen's like playing at sea level now. He's like, I can actually breathe.
Is Air Force Stadium? Is it?
He left with Buffalo.
do what?
Is Falcon Stadium? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
It's literally in the mountains. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's got to be close, though, right? The top.
Yeah.
They're not even in the top 20.
I was kidding.
It's Wyoming,
I'm
Northern
sure they're
Air-
21.
Air Force, Southern
Northern
Utah, and Colorado.
Well, I was at Southern Utah and Northern Arizona are not FBS, so I was just going off FBS.
Right. New
Anyway,
Mexico, 7.
That was a fun one.
Mhm.
But before we move on to Colorado, I do just want to say real quick that that game already was a must-win because of the rivalry. But now with how much Husker fans have been chirping on Twitter and how much Dion has been running his mouth, I mean, this spat has made ESPN talk shows now. They were talking about this on Pardon the Interruption between Matt Rule and Dion. So this one is a absolute must-win. No
I
doubt
like-
about it.
I like it. It's reigniting the rivalry. It's what college football needs more of. Ah, I'm so excited
Two
for it.
poverty programs going at it.
Yes.
You can put the 2 worst programs head to head, and if there's a rivalry between the 2, it's gonna be a great game to watch.
Yeah.
Utah State versus the
Dude, college game day might be there. Who knows?
I don't know about that. 'Cause
An
this-
0-1 Nebraska versus an 0-1 Colorado.
Oh God.
Is that week 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saturday. I bet that game will be on Fox.
Nebraska just got blown out by Minnesota, and Colorado just got blown out by TCU. We're here in Boulder.
Giant game. Speaking of getting blown out by Minnesota,
Baylor.
did you guys see that Minnesota moved their spring game indoors because it was too cold outside?
PJ Fleck is a weenie.
Yeah, he's a fraudulent man.
He's got a bald head, man. Give him a break.
Yeah, he can't wear a hat because he's always got to show off the bald head. So of course they had to go inside.
Full hat.
Yeah,
Brad
like they
hates
don't play
bald people.
football in that weather. This led though to a charity event that was going to be at the spring game getting canceled, and then no fans attending. That is how good of a guy PJ Fleck is, because it's a little chilly. He doesn't donate to charity.
Wow. Glad
So
we didn't get
glad we-
PJ Fleck now.
PJ hit and PJ Fleck hates kids.
That's a factual statement. You heard it here first. Reporting.
PJ Fleck is not for the kids.
I good thing he doesn't coach at Iowa.
Yeah. You know, he wouldn't be waving.
He wouldn't be waving. He'd be like,
Look at Brad out in the stands too. If Brad was there.
Next, we'll get into this one real quick because I like to see the struggling things happen in Michigan State, but they're kind of in trouble now. They've had their starting QB, Peyton Thorne, transfer, their leading wide receiver, Keon Coleman, transfer, their best cornerback, Charles Brantley, transfer. And this is them coming off of a 5-7 season with Mel Tucker's, contract extension for almost $100 million. Things aren't looking good.
No.
It's interesting. If those players, if I could have foresaw those players transferring, I thought it would have been right after the season. Instead, it's all pretty recent within the last month or two. I think something's going down up there.
Didn't Peyton Thorne go to Auburn?
I think he did. Yeah, because I was thinking of the Notre Dame guy.
Did. I saw that.
Yeah, the Notre Dame guy went to Alabama.
Yeah,
So I think he did. Yeah.
Coleman was their best receiver from last year, right?
Keon Coleman was their second leading wide receiver last year, but they're supposed to be their leading guy coming into this year.
I think
Just
those
there.
guys just don't like grass. I think that's why they transferred.
That's probably why.
It always comes down to the grass. Charles Barkley hates grass.
Auburn's on grass though.
Hey,
Auburn, yeah. I think most
Auburn's got
SEC
better
schools
grass.
Got to be on grass.
Auburn's just got that better grass,
I'm gonna make a spreadsheet of which one's on grass, which stadiums are on grass, and we're just gonna trivia the entire next pod.
A trivia special.
Keon
Trivia special with one trivia question.
State, Ole Miss.
I think a lot of SEC schools are on grass. Actually,
I think almost all, yeah, they should be
Makes sense.
down in the South.
it's gonna get cold down there.
Especially if you're not getting all the seasons and your grass isn't necessarily dying every winter.
Can we just turn this podcast, not just this one, but our entire podcast, into talking about grass and lawns? In which
I would
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
You guys, all the listeners, you guys should check out the Power 6 Grass podcast.
yeah, I don't think
Lawn care podcast.
Shout out John Savoy.
we're just gonna talk about just grass the entire time.
Did I mention this
I love
earlier that
switching.
Texas announced they're switching from artificial turf to grass this season?
I'm surprised they weren't already.
I'm surprised they weren't as well. They were. It was like, I think starting in 2008 or 2009, and since then they've been on artificial turf, and they're going back. Yeah, I don't know why they ever switched. I mean, but yeah, more grass news.
If you're not in a cold state, I don't know why you're not on grass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
No maintenance.
It's true.
Turf used to be the whole kit caboodle,
Good point. It's a good point.
Now it's not.
Well,
Everyone's turned away from it.
We want to talk about one of the nicest turf fields, Caniglia Field.
It is
brand new,
True.
brand spanking. They put a logo in the middle of that sucker.
And I
They
scraped
actually?
my leg on that.
Yeah,
thing.
they put the UNO the.
Did they post a
No.
picture on Twitter?
I have broke my foot on that field
Oh wow.
Hey,
We're
they
all-
got
because
Tyler
it's
Anderson
artificial.
all turf now.
because it was artificial. I should sue.
I think
The
that's
Pet Bowl is better field than Caniglia.
I think that's where Devin had to get his bionic ankle after that.
That was the tipping point, man.
Back real quick to Mel Tucker in Michigan State, because I want to make this point, and it kind of goes off what you were saying, Devin, when you thought they would transfer at the end of the season. I think that Mel Tucker might have an issue like keeping the locker room and keeping the discipline, because you remember the fight that they got into with Michigan. I
Yes.
think that he has some issues keeping some order in that locker room and really keeping guys with him, because we saw the frustrations boil over midseason, and now we're seeing their top players leave. I think there's some trouble going on there.
He's just
Forgot
recruiting
about that
thugs.
for a little bit. fun to watch. They should go with game day there.
He needs to stop recruiting people from Detroit.
It's not a recruiting statement.
Yeah, noted Peyton Thorne, white thug from Detroit.
So I
Man,
know
them
we
white
got
thugs.
I know we got the Brian Ferentz.
Dude, Eminem, man.
No, we got the Brian Ferentz points tracker. We need a Mel Tucker sweat watch each week.
Brad, that is a great Power 6 award, the Mel Tucker Sweat Award.
Thank you.
We're gonna add that. I don't know what we're gonna do with it, but it's got to be an award.
I think we got to find the sweatiest coach.
Yes.
Mel Tucker. For sure.
That's
Brett
Not-
Bielema. They gotta be
Bert
sweating.
might have some games up there. Bert might be in that one.
Yeah, he be sweating out that Golden Corral.
I said they have to stop recruiting thugs. Oh
We can-
man.
Brian Ferentz point tracker update.
It is at 0. That's a tough look, actually.
Really bad.
Dang.
Connor, what's your reaction to the points tracker being still at 0?
Tough, man. We need to do better than that. We need to get up.
Well,
the
they didn't even
leagues.
score in the spring game.
They don't have really. a
What's
true
the score
spring
of
game.
Iowa's spring game?
What's that?
What was the score of Iowa's spring game?
They don't like have a true spring game. It's basically just like an open practice, and then
You
fans
sent
can
the
come
pictures
watch.
up
But
there.
they don't like actually play a full 60-minute game, and they never have
And they wonder why their offense is so bad.
because they don't play a spring game. You got that one down to a T.
Got it.
They also
No, it's
play
because
on
they play
artificial
on
turf.
turf. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Nebraska's
Did-
bad too,
Well,
and Ohio
yeah,
State.
and we're
Fair
bad.
enough. Fair enough. Dude. If we're using that argument, you're right.
Yeah.
Turf equals bad.
I actually think
Best
we're a
team
great.
in the Big Ten, Northwestern.
Yeah.
I mean, they made more Big Ten championship appearances than
They've
Iowa
won
and
more-
Nebraska.
They've won more division championships in the West than anyone else in the last 5 years.
Yeah,
Speaks for
they
itself.
didn't have the COVID year though. Doesn't count.
I know you guys saw this too because I tried to send it out, but the Iowa Penn State game gonna be a night game on CBS. It's also gonna be the whiteout this year in Happy Valley. Connor, how are you feeling about that?
I'm excited. That's going to be a good one to watch.
It's gonna be awesome.
Connor, you should try to go to that game.
You want to come with me?
No. Well, I don't know. It would actually.
will go with
be
me.
cool.
Depends when it is. That
It's the
September 23rd.
fourth,
oh
third
yeah,
week of the season.
I could totally do that. You know,
Go to Beeve Stadium. Watch all the white.
yeah, that's one thing I will give Penn State. I saw on their Twitter they posted out all of their themes for the year,
Yeah, really cool.
and they're doing like a helmet stripe theme, the whiteout, the checkered. It's like, oh my gosh, I wish Nebraska would do that. Our
I
stadium.
was gonna say, I love the sea of red. Let's do a theme one game.
Dude,
One game.
checkerboard would be awesome.
Well, a couple years
Let's
ago,
do a stripe out. Let's do a stripe out.
stripe out. A couple years ago, I
Iowa's-
could have swore I heard
Iowa's
they were
can't
going to
steal
do
from
a
Iowa.
blackout.
I was not the only one that does a stripe out.
They do it
Iowa
fast,
invented
though.
stripes.
Sorry, Devin. The students were trying to get the blackout
Do the
going.
blackout. Okay, I think that would be sweet.
We should do a blackout. That should
Yeah,
be our
I mean-
thing.
Blackout for a night game. That would be cool.
Yeah, Nebraska could still do a whiteout. They could do a red. Like obviously the stadium's always red, but just something to spruce it up a little bit.
I wonder if Matt Rule and Trev will talk about that potentially. But
Well, yeah, they listen to this podcast, so they might.
We
Yeah,
shouldn't start a
so
petition.
traditional. I mean, I'm all for tradition, but let's do one.
Yeah, give us something
Yeah.
fun.
We need
Like a
we
yellow
need
out.
something different. Like our alts suck all the time because we're with Adidas. We have not been good. let's
It's
let's
the
have a
main
little
issue.
fun, huh? Let's have a little fun.
Maybe
It's
once we're good, they'll be like, okay, let's do a stripe out. But until then,
Do it now. We could do it now.
It's just nuts because they've listed out that all of their home games already have a theme assigned to them. They got
yeah, but that's how you got to do it, so everyone knows.
No, it's like I haven't seen another college football team do that. Yeah, I guess.
I'd say
I mean,
Penn State's gonna be good this year too.
Tennessee always plans their checkerboard game pretty far in advance. They're the pioneers
Yeah.
of that.
Dude, the checkerboard at Tennessee is fucking awesome.
It's legit, yeah. It's right up there with the whiteout.
Legitness.
Penn State's alternates are kind of nasty though.
Penn State has alternates?
They're doing the Generations of Greatness homecoming game on October 14th against UMass.
Oh, a
Surprise-
throwback,
That
maybe.
that's kind of
That looks exactly like their regular uniform.
yeah.
What? Yeah. Penn State has not changed their uniform in 80 years. I don't think they do any alternates or anything.
That looks like a slight
Anyway, Connor, did you know that Penn State fans absolutely hate Iowa right now? Did you know that?
Yeah, they do. They're not the biggest fan. After that last game, when I was there, that shit was hype. Rushing
Yeah.
the field. I had a great time that game.
I didn't realize this, but the Penn State fans on Twitter and on Reddit were, I mean,
They were kind of mad that they're playing Iowa in that game. They wanted it to be against like Ohio State or Michigan.
yeah, but they hate. There was something about like fake or Iowa fans were booing Penn State's injured guys or something the last time they played.
That's because there was like an injury every 5 minutes. Every time Iowa got momentum when I was at that game, that they would have a guy go down, and then they would get up like 5 seconds later. So Iowa started booing after a while because it looked a little suspicious.
Yeah,
They're
and
doing a little Michigan State drill.
I had
Yeah.
completely forgotten about that, but yeah, Penn State fans are, man, they're amped for this one. I think that's
Iowa
going to be
also caused 3 straight false starts. Fans did that game. It's pretty hype.
yeah, it's sort of a under the radar little rivalry going on there.
Connor, if we want to go, I'll wear an Iowa shirt.
I would wear a Penn State shirt.
I would wear Penn State.
I would just wear a white t-shirt.
Yeah, actually,
I'm already fitting the part.
You
You
would
know,
contribute to the
I'm wearing
whiteout.
Husker red, baby.
I wear a white Iowa shirt.
I would absolutely contribute to the whiteout. It's legendary.
I contributed to the whiteout, but
That's the only
Hey,
reason I would
Iowa.
wear it, is for the whiteout.
Max, you and I can wear red shirts, and you could literally see us from like the Goodyear blimp that goes over the stadium. You could point us
We
out
also
really
get
easy.
a lot of stuff thrown at us probably by
Oh,
both
yeah.
fan bases.
Their
100%.
nosebleeds on SeatGeek are $164 right now for that game.
Yeah, might as well be free compared to Nebraska, Colorado. Goddamn.
Oh shit!
how much are those tickets?
Like 400, aren't they?
500, yeah, 400, 500.
For nosebleeds.
Let's check for an update right now.
Just to get it. Well, yeah, just to get in the door.
Last time when I went to Iowa Penn State, it was like $250.
Whew.
There was
Yeah.
3 versus 4 in the country though, so
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, the on SeatGeek, the cheapest ticket is $347 for the Nebraska.
Oh, they're going down.
Yeah, that's what we know. That's gonna happen.
They were 430 before.
They're gonna keep people are starting to catch on to the fact that this is 1-11 versus 4-8. People are starting to catch on.
Well, I think they're also catching on that Dion has like 20 players. So
I think I sat in section 120 2 years ago when I went, and those tickets are $526 right now.
God
There
damn
was a funny joke that I saw earlier because Oklahoma's spring game, they had like 50 like old former players from the program come to like the spring game to watch Brent Venables in Oklahoma. And I saw someone say that if you went to the Colorado game, you also got to see 50 former players. The spring game. It's pretty funny.
that is funny.
Didn't they do the Kyler Murray trophy during the spring game?
Or I don't know, like statue or something.
Yeah, the statue. That's what I meant.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Not the Baker Mayfield statue.
That's
Baker's already got a statue. He's baking. Did you
He's already baking.
you guys hear about this? This has developed in the last like few days, actually. But the ACC is like potentially in the early stages of splitting up. It looks like.
What do you mean? I haven't seen anything about this.
Yeah, it just happened like in the last 2 days. There was like a meeting between the commissioner of the ACC and a bunch of other schools, and 7 of the schools in the ACC came out and said that they're not happy with like the contract or the money, and if things don't change, they're going to be looking elsewhere. And let me see what they are. I can't remember the schools.
Probably Clemson,
Yeah, Clemson's in there.
Miami. I
North
would assume
Yeah.
North
Kentucky or not
State.
Kentucky.
South Carolina,
The
No, they're in the-
Carolinas.
South Carolina's in the SEC.
all of the Carolinas.
Yeah, it was like Clemson, Florida State, Virginia, Virginia Tech, Miami, North Carolina, and then one other. But the thing that was surprising me was
That's like
that
the whole
Duke-
conference.
Yeah, it's like half of it. There's 14 teams. Duke was not in there, which I just find crazy because it just goes to show you how big football is over everything else. Duke is obviously a basketball powerhouse, but they might be left hanging in this whole situation. So
What's really next for them? Is it to join the SEC
Yeah,
What's-
probably.
conference?
I mean, I think if anything would happen, it'd be like Clemson and Florida State going to the SEC, and then the other 5 going to like the Big 12 or something.
Well, you're in the inevitable. It's going to be the Big Ten and the SEC. Those will be the last 2 dogs standing.
True.
Because the ACC right now is in a contract with all those schools and with their TV deal until 2036. They're locked
Holy-
in.
All
Yeah.
the ACC schools?
And so there's
Somebody
like,
needs to start a new conference soon.
yeah, they've like been considering everything. They apparently got lawyers all together, and the lawyers were trying to figure out if there was any way to
Get out
get
of it.
around the contract.
Well, they can join the Power Six conference.
Power 6 conference, that'd be
We
awesome.
could start a conference.
Hey, we have no funding, guys, but you can join us.
We can get funding.
Yeah.
We are already doing better than Big Ten Plus right now. Our student.
That is factual.
We do have better cameramen than them.
Who are our cameramen?
Our
We don't even
webcams.
need them. They're already better.
webcams.
They actually do, yeah, quite a bit better.
Our webcams catch all the action.
Do we need to get into some Power 6 award talk here? Does anyone have any new groundbreaking ideas for this category? Obviously, we just discovered our Mel Tucker Award, which is phenomenal.
This is a new thing. I don't know what it is. Power 6 awards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you get the
We're-
Cheeto Guy of the Year.
Yeah,
Is this
Cheeto
like
Guy of the Year
the
award.
Awards that we're giving to certain.
Yeah,
college
we're gonna
football
re-
people.
we're gonna reach out to Dabo Sweeney when he wins Weirdest Coach of the Year award.
Speaking of which,
Not
we
like
do need to
awards
see-
for ourselves.
No,
Speaking
it's
of which,
it's outside of this.
we do need to see if we need to update our weirdest / most annoying coaches
Hey,
ranking.
Max, could I propose a new category before we get into that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because so I've been watching. I don't know if you guys know John Boy Media.
Oh, yeah.
He kind of breaks down projections, and I got into some Bo Pelini highlights. I think we should do a Bo Pelini Hothead Award of a coach that just is in the ref's face, yelling, red face, spitting on him, basically.
That's a phenomenal award. I'm going to put that one down, the Bo Pelini Hothead Award. We will definitely keep track of that one this year. There could be some good coaches, some good front runners for that one.
DM us your submissions. Tweet at us.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
Shout us out on Instagram. Who do you think should be all of the awards?
we'll have to. Yeah, I was going to say as the season goes on, send us clips or games or whatever where things have happened. We'll take it into consideration. So we have 4 awards right now. We have the Cheeto Guy of the Year award. We have now the new Mel Tucker Sweat Award, and now the Bo Pelini Hothead Award, and of course our weird and annoying coaches rankings.
Did you say
that's
that-
pretty.
You said the Cheeto Guy one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have that one in there. Let's see. Okay, so
What's
for our
Cheeto Guy
weirdest,
award?
what's that?
What's Cheeto Guy?
Remember
award?
the Cheeto Finger guy?
He didn't
No.
go to the league.
Remember when they went to Michigan?
Yeah, I remember when they went.
Yeah,
was
and
when-
there was
it
a
was when
Cheeto Finger
Headley-
guy.
It was when Headley, Brad, Redmond, and I went to Michigan, and there was a guy who was like heckling us, and a Michigan fan. He was like heckling us, and he essentially cheered for when one of our players was down,
Yeah,
and he's just
Joe
being really
Purdy.
annoying.
He was pretty pumped when Joe Purdy got injured.
Yeah. And then we turn around and Redmond goes, is that the Toy Story Cheeto guy? Because he looked just like the Toy Story Cheeto guy.
Oh.
So it's going to be anyone who is, I don't know, annoying, douchebag, maybe even
Just the
literally
Cheeto
just
No,
looks
weird-
like the Cheeto guy.
Story.
Maybe the Cheeto guy will be at the game someday.
We might run into him again.
Maybe he'll be in the chicken suit next time.
Yeah, Cheeto guy, if you're listening, wear chicken suits in the Michigan game.
Right now, though, for our most annoying coaches, most annoying and weirdest coaches ranking, we have PJ Fleck at 1, Dion at 2, Dabo 3, Brian Kelly 4, Brett Bielema 5.
I like Brian Kelly.
I would like to propose an update that we move Dion to the number 1 ranking.
I would agree.
I was about to say, yeah, Dion's gonna win that.
Yeah,
Yep.
after the last month and a half, Dion definitely deserves number 1.
Did you say Brian Kelly was 4?
Yeah.
Can we move him to 2 just based off of the videos of him last year?
I'd put him just behind
Brian
PJ
Kelly
Fleck.
is one of my favorite coaches.
60
Faking
cameras,
accents is hilarious.
faking accents.
I think that's so funny. Guy has a southern accent all of a sudden when he goes to LSU.
Southern drawl.
Do we
Wasn't
want
it like really bad too?
should Brian Kelly go at number 2 then?
I would keep PJ Fleck number 2.
I'd go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fleck
the
is
whole
literally
spring game
just
thing, we gotta
bald.
keep him at number 2.
No,
Okay, PJ Fleck.
PJ Fleck's number 2.
3
can't-
will go Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
Moves up 1 spot. Does that mean Dabo moves down to 4?
Yeah.
And then Brett Bielema still at 5.
Gosh, I feel like Brett Bielema might just drop out of the rankings.
Yeah, he hasn't done much this offseason. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else that might.
Are these just off-season awards, or are they during the season as well?
During the season, yeah, the whole shebang.
They
I
really
feel like
started heating
I feel like somebody will emerge.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. For sure.
maybe Steve Sarkisian should go. I don't know.
Oh, he is a
I
I
think
kinda
Steve
like-
Sarkisian should go.
I
Number
kind
five.
of
Brett.
I kind of like kicking Brett out, put Steve Sarkisian in at 5.
Yep.
Him
I'm gonna.
popping off at that ref for doing his no, it wasn't even a ref. It was
No.
it was a worker doing his job.
Yes.
Oh,
By the way, if we had our Bo Pelini Hothead Award, that probably would have been the winner last year.
that was it.
Oh, that's funny. This is just
Okay.
like weird dudes.
Weird, annoying, any way you want to shape it.
Who was the or we're probably not gonna know the name. Max, you might actually. The strength coach at Northwestern, whose like specific job was to hold back the defensive coordinator or the head or
Yeah.
Pat or some shit.
Yeah, that was Alex Spanos.
We should have an award for that guy. Whoever is like the most emotional and
He's like the Alex
has the weirdest job on the sidelines.
the Alex Spanos Cocaine Award.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we should also have an award for the best team bodyguard then too. Who can hold back that coach?
Yeah, that's like the
It'd be same thing.
This goes with it.
Okay.
Speaking of Steve Sarkisian, let's get into some Texas quarterback news.
Yes.
What do
We
know
can
about-
go into that. Quinn Ewers officially named starting quarterback at Texas over newcomer Arch Manning.
I'm not surprised. Arch Manning looked terrible.
All right, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
He's the third string quarterback, is from what I've heard. Which I think is
Hudson Card.
no Hudson Card transferred. He went to
Oh yeah. Where did he go? I can't even keep track anymore.
Malik Murphy is, I think, the second string quarterback right now. And it sounded like he had a impressive spring game as well. Oh, Hudson Card went to Purdue.
Wow.
Oh,
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
They're gonna be slinging it again. And if
Mhm.
they get Joe Montana, wide receiver from Colorado,
Oh my God.
They get Joe Montana.
what's that guy's name, Devin?
Cooper Cup Jr. I think his name was like Charlie.
No, not Charlie Jones.
No, the wide receiver from
Montana Lamonius
From
Craig
Colorado.
Smith or whatever.
Montana Lamonius Craig.
Joe Montana Lamonius Craig.
Hi, I'm Montana.
I'm Montana. That's funny.
I'm a state.
He goes to Purdue. I'm just calling him Joe all year.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by the Archie Manning news. I think he might have honestly expected it going in. He probably wanted a shot at the job, but Quinn Ewers is a stud. They've wanted Quinn Ewers the last few years. He played lights out last year until he got hurt. Was beating Alabama when he went down. I think they redshirt Archie Manning, and Quinn he'll probably leave after this year to go to the draft, depending on how his season goes, and then Archie could take over as the starter at that point.
Yeah. It's really tough to get like gauge on quarterback prospects until well into the season. Because I mean, you can have someone who just shows up out of absolutely nowhere who turns into a guy that looks like a top 10 pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I've heard that as well too, that apparently the competition that Archie Manning went up against wasn't necessarily as high caliber as some other quarterbacks around the nation.
He's got the name.
Yeah.
That-
Speaking of, we didn't even talk about this. We'll jump into this real quick. Dylan Dylon, committing to Georgia over Nebraska. You know,
I mean, I'm not surprised that he didn't go to Nebraska. Mostly that Georgia has another 5-star coming in and like 2 4-stars or something like
They
that.
have another 5-star coming too.
In
I
2024.
thought it was just a 4-star. Is from what I've seen.
He's not guaranteed the job.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. But that's the thing is, like, if you went to USC, USC is bound to get like a high-end like transfer QB or even somebody else coming in. Georgia is going to have these good players. Nebraska, he is going to have the spot for 4 years.
So here's what I think. He wasn't playing this year at USC regardless, unless Caleb Williams has some kind of season.
he's the 2024 guy.
So
Dylon.
Right. So he would be after next year. I think he goes to Georgia, competes for the job. If he doesn't get it, then he comes back to Nebraska. I think somehow his career may end at Nebraska.
I was gonna say something along the lines of that, Devin, where if he goes there and he doesn't win the job, I would not be shocked at all, not in the slightest, if we see Dylan Raiola in the transfer portal after a year.
I just wouldn't be shocked if Georgia offered a bigger bag than Nebraska did.
That's what I was gonna say. I bet he got paid. And I wish him well.
I
but
don't
also
think
hope he
that's
never
it
wins
at
a
all.
game in his college football career.
I do not think that Georgia offered him more money. I'm going to shoot that down right away because Nebraska has one of the best NIL programs in the country.
Well, then it must just be stupid. Why did he choose them?
Because what Nebraska quarterback has had any NFL success in the last 50 years?
Adrian Martinez, this year.
That's why he chose Georgia. That's why he chose any program but Nebraska. We have not developed quarterbacks in the slightest.
I mean, if he was looking at an NFL head coaching career at some point, then yeah, definitely go to Nebraska. That no good.
I hope Adrian comes back.
It'll be interesting. I wish him the best. I think the way he went about recruitment was respectable, solid. He never really showed that he was leaning a specific direction. So at least it wasn't like the situation with the Florida quarterback that committed, was all in, and then just blatantly said, like, you guys offered me $13 million and that fell through, so I'm leaving.
Yeah, I think this is really just super simple. He was the #1 recruit in the country, and he went to the school that has won back-to-back national championships. That's really simple. I don't think it was about money. I don't think it's about anything else. He's the best player coming out of high school. He went to the best school. So
I would love for Nebraska to
I'm
get
with
his
you,
brother.
Max. I agree.
And NIL is zero excuse for Nebraska to not be recruiting good. If anything, it should be why Nebraska can recruit well. We're in the Big Ten, which just signed a $1 billion TV contract. Nebraska is going to get more TV money now than any SEC school, and is going to get the same TV money now as all the Big Ten schools. And we have giant booster programs. We're just finishing up a $150 million brand new practice facility this summer. Zero reason why the school should not be able to recruit good. The only reason would be it's because we've just sucked recently. That's it.
That's a great reason.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing is like, yes, our NIL is great, but like comparatively to like Georgia, who probably has a pretty good NIL as well,
Oh, absolutely.
they win and we
Yeah.
don't. So that is like
There's a lot of studs on the defensive side of the ball. It's great what Georgia's doing right now. Here's something to think about. Do you think if Nebraska never pursued Dylan, they keep Donovan on staff?
No.
It's a good
He
question.
probably wouldn't be here.
I think that was a thought in the back of the head.
I'm sure Donovan's in the hot seat now.
What if they fired him?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh yeah, sorry, Don. Like, we're gonna have to let you go. You had one job.
If any of the
Definitely would never
coaches get
transfer
fired
from
this year,
Nebraska.
if any coach gets fired this year, it's gonna be Raiola.
That'd be wild.
that would be wild.
I feel like that's the only reason he got kept on staff.
I don't
One of.
It's definitely a reason.
It's definitely a reason, that's for sure.
I think we'll know pretty quickly by how the offensive line performs this year, whether that's gonna end well for him or not.
Our offensive line has been terrible. So
Oh, Max, we're talking a lot about college football. I think we should talk about the schedule. The expanded schedule.
Oh yeah, for the playoff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Have you guys seen any of it?
that'd be incredible.
Oh my goodness, it is going to be awesome. December and January are now going to be filled with win or go home college football and NFL games. It's going to feel like March Madness, but for football. It's going to be amazing.
That sounds awesome.
I love that they're keeping the tradition by having it be like the bowl game names.
Yeah, that's nice. It's a nice touch.
Yeah,
I still wish that the quarterfinals were on campus games. I don't think we need neutral site quarterfinal games. I think that's ridiculous, but
yeah, no, that makes sense. But even just
I have
having
to
like
this
the
year.
game there.
no, this year's the last year of the 14 playoff.
Oh,
And then next year it's 12, right?
Yep.
So they're doing it, it's like the first, isn't it like the worst four?
Yeah,
or
the
something?
first 4 games will be on site playoff games.
So it's like 12 through 5, basically?
Yep.
Okay,
because the top 4 get a bye.
gotcha. Okay.
And don't the conference champions get an automatic bid?
The top 6 ranked conference champions get a bid. So you'll have the Power 5 and then the top ranked group of 5 school will get an automatic bid. And then the rest is wild cards.
Yep.
Which I think is I actually think they've hit it out of the park with how they've done this system. except for the quarterfinal neutral site games. That's the only miss, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome though.
Yeah. So for example, in 2024, 2025 season.
Wait, Max, I want to cut you off for a second.
Yeah, go for it.
The quarterfinals are even neutral site or the semifinals?
All of it.
Really?
The only thing that's not neutral site are the first round games between the 5 through 12 seeds. The higher 4 seeds in those games get on campus games.
Okay, yeah, I don't like that either. The quarterfinal, I feel like should be at, the school that has the better ranking.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, if they were to take after the NFL and just the home field advantage until the Super Bowl.
I'd love that. Honestly, we can get rid of bowl games, like in terms of for the playoff. I don't know. Like I love the tradition of college football, but let's move on.
Yeah, I would rather be home. Whoever is the highest ranked gets home field advantage.
There's so much money to be made at a bowl game just by having your name in front of bowl.
Yeah, that's all it is. So what I was gonna say though, for that first season of the playoff, we're gonna have a 5-day stretch of win or go home football games. January 9th is gonna be a college football semifinal game. January 10th is gonna be college football semifinal game. The 11th is going to be 2 NFL playoff games. The 12th is going to be 3 NFL playoff games. And then the 13th is going to be a Monday night football NFL playoff game. That's the current schedule. That's going to be the best 5-day stretch of sports. It's going to be awesome.
Sounds like we need to go to Vegas and just be degenerates.
Or Council Bluffs.
Yes.
Dude, we can get a hotel at Council Bluffs, dude. That'd be the best.
Bro, we could just go to Brad's apartment. What are you talking about?
I'm getting a hotel at the Horseshoe.
At the Ameristar.
Maybe
On
we could
the
just
river.
Get enough points now. We can get a free hotel by then.
That's true.
We just got to keep betting. Keep betting money.
Regular season football.
Keep betting money like the Iowa baseball team.
Hey, I'm sure
Hell
Redmond
yeah,
could
brother.
get Redmond can
have
probably get us
fun.
a hotel room.
Next, as we cover a few more things before we get off here. Headley, I put this in just for you because I know you love triple option and wishbone football. And the last school that does it is no longer going to be doing it. Unfortunately, Army is going into the shotgun.
Well, it was fun while it lasted. Hopefully we'll get the wishbone back at some point.
We can dream. We can
I would be
dream.
shocked to see Bradford do a little bit of it. We got to see them do a little bit of fullback action in the spring game.
Yeah, they did that just for Frank Solich, so they were.
You think they're just gonna? All right, fullback, you're good. You can transfer.
I mean, no, but we'll see it like once a game.
I think running wins you football games if you're good at it.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is very true. The last main topic that I want to get in here is the new college football clock rules. Going to be a running clock after first downs, just like the NFL. The only big difference is, and I didn't even realize this at first, I don't think a lot of people did, is that in the final 2 minutes of the first half and the second half, it will still stop for first downs.
And see, and it might just have been me, but I always thought it was a running clock until that anyway for college. I guess I just never noticed it. Like if they got the first down, I just thought the clock stopped. Or the clock kept going until the final 2 minutes, excuse me.
I don't know. It seems like that would be the case, but
Right. Yeah.
then I didn't know why these rule changes came about then. But let me look it up real quick.
Instead of having less commercials, they would rather shorten college football.
Yeah, seriously.
I think it's a bad tactic on the NCAA to do that because, like Max, we talked on the side before, like college football is starting to become one of the most watched sports. And I get it. They gotta kind of shorten it up to get other games in, but at the same time, why shorten it up when more people are starting to get into it?
because more people are watching it for the action. I think if the clock continues to run, you'll see more teams kind of convert to more of a hurry up more often.
That's true. That would be cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring up a little.
They're trying to make the game a little bit faster paced, I'm sure, because you run into those teams that are just like, all right, we're gonna play. Let's walk back to the huddle. Let's walk up to the line.
In the last 2 minutes of college football is normally the longest amount of time it takes.
Yeah, and they didn't touch that, which that's the best part about college football. You say you have a tie ball game and there's less than 2 minutes left. Like you want every second to count.
Yeah, that makes sense. It kind of gives more time for at least the broadcast stations to have some leeway there.
Yeah, and we'll just have to see how teams approach it with a running clock if they do decide to go more hurry up or if they stick to the traditional. We may see lower scoring games.
Yeah, you probably have one less possession a game now.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt for the Brian Ferentz points tracker, but
true.
Oh,
New
we didn't talk
dynamic.
about that.
Isaiah, that's the smartest thing you've ever said.
hey, I'm guaranteed one smart thing a month.
Okay, that's fair. I can agree with that.
There's
What
my
did you say? I
maze.
didn't hear you.
I
That's
said
right.
there might be more lower scoring games with them changing the clock. It's gonna hurt the Brian Ferentz points tracker.
He doesn't score at the end of games, anyways.
Well, he doesn't really score. His defense does.
Yeah. Ryan Ferentz is relying on the defense.
Well,
Real
that
quick, what do
counts.
you guys? Sorry, what was that, Headley?
I think defense counts. So
It does.
It does count, yeah. Which
Does
is
it count
crazy.
towards the Brian Ferentz points though?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, as long as there's 25.
It's just 25 points per game for Iowa. It's not offensive points per game.
The Phil Parker points tracker.
Yeah, the Phil Parker points tracker. That's right. What I
We
didn't
should
have this in here,
actually-
but what do you
Max,
guys?
I was gonna say we should differentiate. Like we have an Iowa points tracker, but see how many points the offense scores and the defense scores too.
Oh, we'll definitely keep track of that.
Yeah.
That'll
Sweet.
definitely. Yeah.
Keep track of that, Isaiah, you go right ahead. You keep us updated on that.
Hey, I like making spreadsheets.
What do you guys think about Nebraska having 2 weeknight games this year? We saw that Illinois game get moved to Friday night, and we have the Thursday night opener on Fox with Minnesota.
awesome. Golf on
Yeah.
Saturdays now.
Yeah, that
That's-
helps out Defender Cup. That's gonna be championship time.
I know. I wonder when that Illinois game is. Illinois game might be past all that, but
It is.
either way,
It's in October.
yeah.
It's October 6th.
October 4th.
Oh, well, I just Googled it real fast and it's still on October 6th.
Well, it'd be
Uh,
October.
That's a Chicken Nick reference. Sorry.
Oh,
God.
yeah. Shout out Chicken Nick. I don't watch or listen to you guys yet. I'm sorry. I've heard lots of great things about you.
They suck. They ain't nothing compared to the Power Six.
Just Connor, does Iowa have any weeknight games this year?
I don't think so.
They have one against
Iowa,
Nebraska.
yeah, Nebraska. That's it. Though.
Oh yeah. Well, Nebraska has 3 weeknight games then,
Yeah,
or week.
that doesn't
weekday
count
weekend.
though because it's Thanksgiving weekend. So
Yeah, Black Friday. Yeah, no, that
That's-
never counts.
it's already a
think
holiday
that's-
weekend.
That's usually a pretty watched game by a lot of the nation. And the NFL just announced they're gonna have like 2 Black Friday games this year.
They're gonna have one.
One.
Yeah.
So they're
Oh.
starting to take it over.
Which
I don't
There
think
goes
it's
our
gonna play
viewership.
away much
the
attention from the game.
by the way, I never knew this, but the NFL, that Black Friday game they're having is gonna be a 3 p.m. game. It's not gonna be a night game. And I found this out. It's because that is actual law that the NFL cannot play on Friday nights or Saturdays, because in like 1969 or something, the federal government like passed a law that said amateur sports, high school is reserved for Friday nights and college football is reserved for Saturdays, and it is law that professional football cannot be played on those days. Didn't know that, but
That could have been
Really?
true.
no, because you guys would have never got that. I had no fucking clue that was a thing.
Hey, we could have tried. Bradley's on
that-
the trip. Brad's on the
We could've
trivia
tried
tonight. He
that.
could have got that.
Isn't that crazy though? I just thought that was
There's
like
no trivia Brad could not get tonight.
Brad probably would have got that one.
Come on, man. But
Brad
the-
probably would have told me who signed it in the law too. Anyway, though,
Next topic before we finish up for the night.
yeah, I mean, the last thing I have is I just wanted to give Nebraska volleyball a shout out and Nebraska fans a shout out for selling out Memorial Stadium for a volleyball match. We're gonna have
That's
90,000 in there.
crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't get a ticket.
See one of those ticket sales.
yeah. I thought we were gonna have months to buy tickets.
Yeah.
I thought we'd be able
We
to
had-
do it the week after.
We had like
at least.
3 days, man.
It sold out in 24 hours.
I'm honestly not surprised. They made
I'm
it pretty
shocked.
Scalpers took advantage
Oh,
of that.
I'm not. I think what Nebraska is trying to do and what Trev Alberts like made the video and posted it out everywhere, and the way Nebraska respects and loves their volleyball, I wasn't shocked at all.
It'd be the first time a championship team's played there since the 90s.
That is very
Such
true.
low-hanging fruit.
And then two really mid schools. I guess UNO is okay.
Well, Creighton's really good too. Nebraska's just a good volleyball
Creighton's
state.
there.
Creighton's not
Oh
there.
wait, never mind. Creighton's not there.
Well, it's
The Mavs are
UNO
going to be there though.
It's UNO,
Oh, Mav.
Carney. So-
Carney, that's right.
Yeah, well,
Why-
Wayne State is playing Carney.
And Wayne.
Oh, okay. They're not actually playing UNL.
UNO is playing Nebraska.
Okay. I thought they were gonna do like a round robin type thing.
No, because that would be really bad for Wayne State and Carney if they had to play Nebraska.
True.
Mavs are going to win so hard. So hard and
I
good.
think didn't Mavericks beat UNL almost a couple years ago?
Did the Mavericks beat
UNL.
UNO? Maybe they won a set. I don't know, but no, they.
I'm pretty sure UNO beat Lincoln once. Or it
In volleyball, really?
might have been really close.
I thought they went to 5 sets.
Yeah,
I feel like I remember that now that you guys mentioned. I think it did go to 5 sets, but I think Nebraska pulled it out. But I do remember that now that you guys say that.
Yeah, they probably
Yeah,
sat
Nebraska Omaha
all the
pulled it out.
starters.
I am shocked though that they sold it out. I thought they were gonna get like 50,000, maybe 60,000 at the most, and I think that's what the athletic department thought too, with them not even saying that they were gonna sell South Stadium at first. But yeah, just incredible.
Are those tickets on sale like Ticketmaster yet, or is that just?
They're on
is that-
StubHub.
I'm gonna go to that. I just, it's gonna maybe cost a little bit now.
Yeah, I agree, Headley. I'm also gonna have to go, but it'll cost a few bucks.
That's a good week.
Let's see what the tickets are actually.
It'd be a nice little Wednesday night, Wednesday night volleyball. I
Guess
never been to a volleyball game, so
Got some Tuesday night, Zach Bryan in Lincoln. Then you got Wednesday night volleyball, and then Thursday
isn't
night
there
you got
gonna be a
Nebraska versus
concert?
Minnesota.
The
There is
cheapest-
gonna there is gonna be a concert. I don't think they've announced who yet.
The cheapest ticket is $81 right now, and it is on the opposite side of the chicken.
really for
Yeah.
women.
Hey. I just want you guys to
I
know
was
now
kidding, I
that
was
the Power Six supports women's sports. All right.
I mean, I'm gonna go to the game, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the game regardless.
Well,
All right. Well,
we should wrap this baby up.
yeah, I think that'll do it for this edition of the off-season pod. We got through a lot of discussion today, so
Yeah,
Think it went well.
there was a lot to talk about this week.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Yep. Thank you to all our listeners. We're done here. As always, be safe. Hope you guys have a great 2 weeks before our next episode probably comes out. And as always, go Big Red.
Go Hawks.